Uh-oh, I got some dry skin. Y'all just ignore it. Talia said, get off my toes. I am not on anyone's toes this morning, but my own. But if they happen to squish yours too, sorry. We're going to talk about it. Whoo, good morning, Denise. Good morning, user plus numbers. Never a troublemaker. Never a troublemaker. Good morning, treasure. Never a troublemaker. Thanks, y'all, for popping in. Thanks for popping in. If you're here for a few minutes, then I'll take whatever time I get. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? How's the family doing? Is everyone well? Let me know. How you doing? Glad to see your beautiful face this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Monday, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I just try to hop in for a few minutes and offer some support, some encouragement to get your week going. I'm Martine Brown, and this is my channel, Learn with Martine. And I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to jump right in. I've been really working to make sure that I am less all over the place on these calls. Good morning, Kenya. And that I'm super focused on why we are here so that we can get in here and do this thing and come on out. Now, I have been on the interwebs and we have been looking at the great lock-in. Okay. Search. Good morning, Kenya D. Search the great lock-in on TikTok or Instagram, and you're going to find a ton of content around this topic. The great lock-in just means between now and December, we're going to lock into our goals and we're going to work towards making our dreams become a reality. Now, some of us have been doing this all year. That's why I got to take a deep breath. Some of us talked about it in January and February, and we've kind of fallen off. Good morning, just new baby. Some of us need a reboot. And so the idea is that this last 2 quarters of the year, we're not going to give up. We're going to keep pushing forward, and we're going to make that thing happen. All right. So whether it's learning a new tool, selling our first product, showing our face on the interweb, creating social media content, whatever that thing is, it's not too late. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and expose myself a little bit here. I typically am the girl who will start strong in January, February, and then fall off track by May. I get real down in the ground around my birthday, which is in July, because I didn't reach what I said I was going to do in January. So then I give up for a few more months. And by October, November-ish, especially as the holidays come up, I just say, forget it. And I will get back to it in January. It's the holidays. I want to chill. I want to relax. I'm tired. Can anyone relate to that yearly rhythm? And then January, I start back again. This last year has been different, though. I have had to really fight hard and trudge through the mud to stay consistent with my goals, y'all. I really have. I've gotten sick multiple times this year. Just finished up another round of being sick. I'm getting older, and so I'm just finding my recovery is taking longer. I'm sick more days. And I hate it. I hate it. And I feel, and it's very, like, today is probably the most normal day I've had in a long time. I feel like I don't care how old I get, I'm still me on the inside. And I just feel like I should be bouncing back faster, and I'm not. It's taking days and days and days. And it impacts what I get to do in my community. It impacts every single thing, including my mental health. Right? So if that, and let me look. Yes, it's definitely a struggle. Yes, Kenya, I see. Yep, you're right there with me. Every year it's this perpetual type cycle of creating goals, falling off on the goals, giving up mid-year, maybe revving the engine up again, maybe not. And by the time it's time to cook Thanksgiving dinner, you're pretty much listing out all your parties, all the good things you gonna eat. And in January, you will get back to your goals. Oh, Diana, you too? Diana said her too. It's not even winter yet. Right, that's how I feel. Especially since I've had kids and stuff, I used to get sick at all. And I've gotten sick at least twice this year. Good morning, Diva, the real deal. Good morning. And I'm telling my kids, they getting football blocks or boxing blocks. Good morning, Rashida. Because I'm like, don't hug me and you don't feel good. Do not touch me. I love you from a distance. Go put a mask on. Because I don't want to be sick no more. So all of that, if it's not sickness, then it might just be lack of motivation. So I want to talk about this thing, being in a space between momentum versus motivation. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about. And it's tied into this bigger, these last couple months, let's really try to lock in. And I'm telling y'all, I am struggling. I'm struggling. And so I figured some of you might be struggling too. Okay. So I thought this would be a good day to talk about it. All right. So here's the truth. Motivation is like the cousin who shows up late to the cookout. All right. You can't count on motivation. It's nice when it shows up, but it's not what's really going to build that fire inside of you that's going to keep you going for the long run. All right. It's just like that cousin. You be like, you bring paper plates, but then you also have someone else bring paper plates because they never show up on time to bring the paper plates. They show up the last 2 hours of the party, and they may or may not actually bring the paper plates. That's what motivation is like. All right. Motivation are our feelings. It's an emotional thing. Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Sharon. Glad to have you here. Good morning. This morning, we're talking about motivation versus momentum and why we need to tackle these last couple of months of the year from a place of momentum and not from a place of motivation. Motivation is emotional. All right. Momentum, that's more like a choice. It's the thing that it's you choosing. Y'all, I was so tired this morning. I worked all day yesterday to finish a contract. And then I did TRM last night. Both kids had to get ready to go. So pushing them to clean their spaces, get their clothes ready. I woke up this morning tired. No, air fryer won't bother me. I woke up this morning, was tired. In my mind, I had all of these reasons why I didn't have to walk this morning. I didn't have to go live this morning, right? The list was long, right? If I lean on motivation to do these weekly calls, I would have quit a long time ago. It's momentum. Momentum is when you make a choice. I recognize that over the course of this year, from January to today, every single week, I have went live, I have walked, and I've gotten some movement in. I missed some days due to illness or being just too tired or not wanting to. But consistently for 9 months, I've done the thing. Has it been perfect? No. Good morning, Sammy. Good morning, Regina. Good girl. It's like 6 a.m. Go back to sleep. That is momentum. Okay. I cannot lean on motivation. Motivation is too emotional and it fails me every time. All right. And the same is going to be the case for you. So if you look at your decisions as your ability to stack and build momentum, you're also starting to stack proof. Is it open? Okay, as long as it's not open. Okay, good. All right, I was about to say, go back to sleep, lady. So here's how we structure this. All right. Every little action that you take, Even if it's small, you are stacking your proof. All right. So Diana, one of the things that you mentioned was like, that social media thing, it just get in my head. Right. I can relate to you saying that. I went live. I posted consistently for 30 days. I need to do another round of consistent posting, and I'm getting in my head about it. I've done it before. I don't know what's keeping me from it right now. It's in my mind. However, when I make the next post, I'm building one small action. Then if I could do the next post, that's a second small action. Then the third one. Then the fourth one. And when you do that, you start to build a reality that you can see. And when you build your own reality that you can see, you can take that information and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. All right. So that's what I mean when I say start stacking your proof. All right. Good morning, Low Walk. Good morning. Good morning. You got to stack your proof, guys. Y'all know why TRM is a great place to be on Sundays? Because week after week, we stack our proof, right? We don't have to be afraid as a group to go live on Sundays at 6 because every week we've built the case that we're capable. All right? So I really want you to think about what you're going to lock in and think about how you can stack your proof, because proof builds confidence, and that confidence is what's going to keep you moving. All right? I go live 3 times a week. Sometimes there's 5, 6 people. Other times there have been 20 people. I don't know who's going to show up. Every single time I get on this microphone, the audience might be one of one, me talking to myself. It's a risk. Every single time it's a risk. But I've built confidence over time, right? So I made up in my mind, whether it's one person, 0 people, or 20 people. I have what's in me to keep going because I've built up the reps. All right? If you haven't already, go ahead and share today's live. You might know someone who needs this message this morning. So, question for you. Who's ever waited for motivation to show up and realized it never came? Put a 1 in the chat if you've waited around for that motivation to come and you realized it never showed up. Good morning, Fatima. Have you ever waited for motivation and it never showed up? Give it a thought. You waited for it. I've got every workout tool. I've got jump ropes. I've got a punching bag. I have weights. Does this sound familiar, y'all? I've got the walking pad. I've got the workout clothes, the workout shoes. I've got the tension things where you could do strength training with like the ropes, those that they have tension. Got all the resources. Got a gym membership. None of that has created motivation. Maybe the same is true for you. You've got all the tools. You've got all the classes you haven't watched. Good morning, Miss Martine. Good morning, Brother Dean. You've got the subscriptions. You're in the communities. You've bought the programs. You bought the resale rights. You have all those things. So why hasn't the needle moved? And why hasn't motivation helped you move yourself forward? Because motivation is too feeling prone, and we spend way too much time waiting for those feelings to arise, and they never do. It's the reason why year after year you don't feel like you're moving as forward, as quickly or as progressively as you would like. All right? You're too busy thinking about getting it all done, having the LLC and running the business and getting the website and making the small, tiny actions every day is going to move you a lot further than these grand ideas that you have in your head and you've been waiting on the motivation to get it done. All right? Now, I'm going to flip this. Think about the last week or so. What's something you did last week that gave you a little momentum, even if you weren't feeling it at first? Think about the last week. What's something that you did that it gave you some momentum? You did it. Maybe you didn't want to. Maybe you didn't feel like it, but you did it anyway. And it gave you that little bitty push that you needed to keep moving forward. Let me know in the chat. What's something you've done in the last week that gave you some momentum? It gave you that little bitty kick that made you go, okay, I can do this. Let me know in the chat. I know for me, I went ahead and walked Wednesday, and I still wasn't 100% feeling it. I was even a little scared because I just been so ill. And so, good morning, Chicana, Slade, nah. And so, I wasn't feeling it, but I went ahead and did it. And by the end of it, I felt fine. And I was like, okay, I'll take Friday off, and I did. Because I didn't want to, good morning, Ann. Good morning, Whitney. Good morning, Sarah. I didn't want to overdo it. So I just did Wednesday. Took Friday off. Took the weekend off. So when I came back today, still tired, but I've got way more energy than I had Wednesday. Right? And so I'm going to say that the same way. Say it back to you this way. Do a little bit. Plan your breaks so that you could do a little bit more. Because now that this workout is done, man, I'm going to be here Wednesday. Nothing short of life, death, or excessive illness is going to keep me from being here. And the same can be true for you as well. So Kenya says she has an accountability partner. Anybody else have an accountability partner? Let me know in the chat. Having partners and doing this within the context of communities is another way to build and keep momentum. Oh, wow. TikTok's got some new features. And some of you, I love my online people, but y'all keep trying to do this by yourself. It doesn't work. I tried, and it wasn't until I connected with people like Talia, like Regina, I didn't have a lot of momentum. When I look at the communities I get to serve, the paid creative community, TRM Learning, Those are communities where we're talking, we're working. I get messages all the time. All of that is what stokes the fire to keep me going. So you cannot do this by yourself. And you're lying to yourself if you think you can. So we got to do some mindset changes. Right. Talia said, right, you cannot do this by yourself. And the longer that you, and I mean, when I say you cannot do this by yourself, meaning you're going to have to get comfortable communicating with new people, talking about the things you enjoy, being challenged by them, being pushed, even when you don't want to be pushed. All right? You gotta, it has to be in place. Because the I don't feel likes keep us in trouble. And if we don't have other people to say that out loud to, and they can say back, hey, but you said you wanted XYZ. It happens all the time amongst our team. You said you wanted XYZ. Is that going to really help you get there or no? Our team was afraid to go live collectively and individually. Our team was afraid to teach collectively and individually. And all year long, we've just built momentum to knock these fears down. But your fears are not going to go away in isolation. They're just not. And the bottom line is this. You may not feel like walking. But because you've walked, next time you go to your doctor's appointment, your cholesterol's down a few points. Maybe you're down a pound or two. Maybe you were borderline high blood pressure and now you're not. You got to do it anyway. Maybe you didn't feel like posting on social media, but because you chose momentum. You hit that publish button and you got an inbox that you didn't expect, or a comment that you didn't expect, or you grew a couple of followers. You really weren't in the mood to send another round of emails, but because you chose momentum, that one email, that one reply sets you up for a larger project this year. Okay? There's power in momentum. It compounds. The more you do it, the more you say yes, the more you choose the action, the more you're going to get more from it than you ever thought was possible. Consistency is going to always beat motivation. You might as well put motivation in the same category as falling in love when you're 13 years old. Put them two motivations, put your first crush and the word motivation in the same bucket, because that's how valuable they generally are. Good morning, MK Digitals. Good morning, Gloria. All right. Now, for those of you that married your first love, you are definitely part of the 2%. Enjoy. But the other 98%, yeah, nah. You motivation is about as winning a deal as winning the lotto. All right. Now, I'm going to always give you some practical steps that you can take to make this a part of your everyday life. All right. During this season of locking in, because remember, we're doing the great lock-in. Did not get a chance last week, but I will this week. I'll start dropping information in the paid creative community to help you lock in. So this week, here's the action plan. Pick one thing, one non-negotiable. What's one thing you can do this week? Posting daily, posting to your school group, drinking water, whatever that one non-negotiable. We're not thinking about December. We're only going to focus on this week. Pick one thing. Decide on that thing, and I want you to do that thing this week. Okay? Second, you're going to track streaks. What are streaks? How many times you do it in a row. If you miss a day, so what? Start the next day. We don't care about the days missed. We care about how many days you did it in a row. And you're going to track your streaks. Sometimes your streaks are going to be long. Sometimes your streaks are going to be tiny and short. It doesn't matter. Because we're thinking, when we talk about streaks, we're thinking, how many streaks, how many rounds can I get through? Because I already know I'm going to mess up. Because we're human. If you're thinking in terms of perfection, you're setting yourself up. A streak gives you something that you can protect long term. And then when we are successful this week, we're going to celebrate that. All right? Now, if you got it on your mind already, what is one non-negotiable? Let me know in the chat. One thing. Because once you say it out loud and the world gets to hear it, you're more likely to do it. So if you know what it is, drop it in the chat. Because here's the deal. Motivation is fickle. Momentum is faithful. Momentum is little actions. We got to build momentum this week so that when we have dips, we can outlast them. Good morning, Shan. All right. Second, remember, locking in these last couple months has nothing to do with being perfect. It's about staying consistent, stacking your proof, and choosing your growth over choosing excuses. These excuses that you have, they're a waste of energy. Complete and utter waste of your energy. All right? So this week, that's the homework. I love it. I see you, Talia. Talia said she's going to post consistently in her school community this week. Good morning, Brianna. That's her one. Pick just one thing. Friday, let's come back and celebrate it. Oh, good morning, Brina. She says, it's Brina. Good morning to you. This week, we're setting goals. You're more than welcome to join us. One tiny thing that you can do this week that's going to help you get yourself closer to where you're trying to go. I have a free community called The Paid Creative, where we work on things like mindset, building workflows and systems to be more productive, and content creation so that we can actually grow the kind of business that we dream of. And we use AI as a driver for that. Good morning, Charlene. Charlene, we're focusing on one non-negotiable this week that we can do to help us get us closer to our goals. You're more than welcome to join us. And then Friday, we'll celebrate it. Just one thing. And all this week, guys, I want you to track how many times in a row did you do the thing. Was it drinking water? I think mine is going to be drinking water. I typically don't drink as much water as I should. And it gets much worse in the winter months. And things are starting to get cooler here. So I think my non-negotiable is going to be 2 bottles of water this week. I'll let you know. Sounds good. Brandon, when I get off this call, I'll accept it. All right, so Diana says hers is at least a 30-minute workout. Good morning, Crystal. And we'll check in with each other Wednesday of this week, so in 2 days, and again on Friday. All right? Oh, I love that. So Charlene is going to manage her swelling. So when she's done with the afternoon craziness, her non-negotiable is to sit down, elevate her legs for at least, I think she said 30 minutes. Okay, so that's her non-negotiable. All right. That's hers. All right. I know that this is my business account, but what I'm finding is the head, the heart, and the soul have to be aligned in business in order for the business to grow. My business has grown this year, 1,000% growth, right? But I'm constantly having to work on my mind, my heart, and my soul to continue to do the work, y'all, because it's tiring and I'm exhausted and I still work full time. I do this on a part-time basis. At one point this year, I was involved in too many things, too many projects, too many teams. I was like, I'm about to crack. I had to sit down and take myself out of some things so that I could be more focused and more emotionally grounded in my work. All right, so it happens to all of us. Okay, and look, check in the community. If you need a reminder, do not wait until you feel motivated. Take the step, build the streak, and momentum is going to be what carries you. That's all I have for today. Tonight we have Mid-Journey Mondays with Regina, so make sure that you check that out. Tomorrow we have Color Me Calm. I think Talia said she's going to give it a try on TikTok again, so make sure you're following Talia at Artfully Melanated. She's in the thread. And then Saturday, I will be teaching. Good morning, Erica. I will be teaching you how to do the narrator trend, how to write a script, and then create a video to go with that script. All right. Okay. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for being here. Let's lock in on our goals. One of my goals today is to get all this content into the school community. I'm going to really try to get that done today so that you guys can get to work. Remember, one thing that you can do this week, just one. Take small actions, tiny steps. We're going to build streaks. We're not going to worry about perfection. And over time, we're going to be places we never thought were possible. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you again Wednesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock Pacific, and 9 o'clock Eastern.